One is on Tuesday evening, and it's on the classic films of George Stevens. Now, George Stevens has kind of been forgotten, but as you can see by the list of the films there, he is one of the great filmmakers. He came into filmmaking as a photographer for Hal Roach, and he photographed some of the Laurel and Hardy classic early comedies. He came to Utah and photographed films here. Before the war, he worked at RKO, and he was responsible for putting together Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn for the first time in Women of the Year, and they would go on to do some 12 or 13 films after that. He did one of the great Ginger Rogers films, Fred Astaire films, Swing Time. There, he took a little adventure film and turned it into a classic called Gunga Din. When he went into the war, he was the head of the camera department. He was the person who landed with the cameras there at D-Day. He had his own 16mm camera, and he photographed Kodachrome color film footage of much of what he saw. And what he saw changed his life. When he returned after the war, his films were long and far in between, carefully made, and hopefully he wanted them to be films that would be remembered and last. I Remember Mama, Shane, The Diary of Anne Frank, Place in the Sun, The Greatest Story Ever Told. He's one of the great directors, and you'll have an opportunity to borrow a number of his films to take home and watch during the week. The Academy Awards come up this Sunday, and I'm reminded of the first time that he won an Oscar for A Place in the Sun. He was riding home with his son, George Stevens Jr., and he said, in 20 or 25 years, we'll know if we really have created something worthwhile. Well, his films are worthwhile. Take a look at Giant, the story of Texas there, which was recently restored to Blu-ray. It's an amazing film. He's a great filmmaker worth getting to know.